Catflap Chats, episode 43. We're back once again. Delighted this week to bring you one of Wales's very own world champions. Back on the path for more titles, Mr. Lee Selby. How you doing, pal?
Doing good, thank you.
Good, good. What's news? What have you been up to? How's things been over the last few months?
Just the usual, to be honest. I found out that my life is pretty boring because during the lockdown, not a lot's changed.
Yeah.
The kids have been home from school and I've spent a bit more time with the family.
How's that been then? Because obviously, you know, when you're on camp,
okay.
that's, what's that, 12 weeks camp or whatever. What's that been like instead, being at home all the time?
Well, I'm just training constantly anyway. I don't really have like training camps at most fires. Okay. I stay in the gym like all year round.
Yeah.
And the only difference is when I got a fight day, I'll start like sparring and training twice a day rather than just the once. So like I'm always in the gym.
Yeah.
I'm always training. But during the lockdown, obviously I couldn't get to the gym. So one of my friends and one of my gym mates, stable mates, Gavin Gwynn, who's also a professional boxer, he come and built me a gym at my home. So I've been training at home.
I've seen a couple of pictures actually. Looks class, to be fair. I've seen you doing some stuff in there. Looks real nice.
He's done a good job. He did.
He'll be getting offers from this now. People are ringing him up, get down there.
I think he's had a few already, actually.
Oh, class, fair play. So you're not one of those, because a lot of boxers then, they'll come up to the fight, then they'll take, a month off, whatever, before they get back into training again. You're just every day's a training day.
All the time. I'll have like one day off a week.
Yeah.
But like when I've got a fight day, I usually take the whole weekend off.
Yeah.
But like other than that, I'm always in the gym, or if not in the gym, I'm on the roads running. Always keeping busy.
Is that more for just to keep you busy, or is it like for your mental state as well?
A bit of everything, and it's something I've always done from a young age. I've always done it.
Fair play to you, mate. That's class. A lot of people, because a lot of boxers sort of fluctuate with their weights as well, and obviously,
my weight does fluctuate because like not so much now, but like when I was making the featherweight limit, I'd weigh in to like 8 stone 13, which is nothing. And by the time I got into the ring the next day, sometimes I'd be as much as 10 stone 8 the next day, 24 hours after. So I'd put on like 22 pound overnight. And then from that 22 pound, then I'd put on another, say 14 pound. Just like after the fight, that's the only break I have. After the fight, I'd take maybe a week or two off. Yeah. Just then I'm back in the gym then. But during them 2 weeks, then I do put on a bit of weight.
Bloody hell, that's ridiculous. Fair play to you, mate. That's a hell of a training schedule. What does training look like? What does training look like for you then at the moment? And then what does it look like when you know you've got a fight coming up?
So I know I got a fight coming up now. So I'm training like religiously, Yeah. So my first session will take place on a Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'll train in Newport. Yeah. From like 10 o'clock to 12 o'clock. Where I'll either be sparring or doing the other boxing work on the bags, the pads, and all that type of thing. And like the old traditional boxing training, skipping, shadow boxing. And then on a Tuesday and Thursday and Saturday, I'll do my strength and conditioning in Barry, down on the Muscle Beach gym on Barry Island. Yeah. So I'll do that 3 days a week. Then in the evenings, 6 days a week, I'll either run on the road or in my gym on the treadmill. Or if I don't run, I'll use maybe like the cross trainer or like a stationary bike and do like a cardio session.
And how many miles would you run if you're sort of road running or on the treadmill?
So like the minimum I do is like 5 miles. And you usually have between 5 and 8 miles.
Bloody hell, mate. Fair play to you. Absolute machine, mate.
But again, that's something I've done from like a really young age. Yeah. I remember... So obviously you know the butts, the butt drops. Yeah. I used to live at the butts, and my school was was at the Calcut. So that got to be, what do you say, 1.5 miles? Okay. 2 miles maybe. So 2 miles. We'd have to run to primary school. My dad would be on the bicycle. We'd have to run behind him, run to school, do our schoolwork. We'd run home, and then we'd have our tea, and then we'd be at the boxing gym up in the Roos boxing gym there. So we've done it from such a young age, and then even now, like. When I do run on the roads, I'm there behind my dad. He's the pacemaker, and I'm running behind him. It's something we always done.
That's brilliant. That is. I love that. How talk to me then about how obviously you've been pro since 2008, 2009.
Yeah.
Talk to me about before that, how you got into it and your journey, I suppose, through.
Well, again, so I'm just going to plug a charge in. So again, it was my my dad got us into it. He's like a big boxing fan.
Yeah.
And we were like, me and my brothers, we were scrapping in the living room with the boxing gloves on. And as soon as we was old enough to get down to the local gym, he sent us down there. So we all started like, my older brother went first. He must have been about 8 or 9.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I was 8, I joined. And then my younger brother, when he was 8 as well, he come along.
Class. I love that. And so did you start having fights at a young age as well?
We had our first fight, me and my brother, at the age of 10. My older brother didn't fight. He used to train with us.
Yeah.
He didn't have a fight. But like I had my first fight when I was 10. So I had my medical maybe like 2 days after my birthday. And I think I was fighting the same month. And then my brother was 10. Yeah.
That's brilliant, that is. Did you...
And then back then it was brutal as well. So we'd be in like those little social clubs at the Valleys.
Yeah.
We'd be like 10 years of age, tiny little kids, because like we're only small now, so you can imagine us at 10 years of age.
Yeah.
Me and my brother, skinny kids. We'd go in the venue. They'd be like 2 meters thick of smoke from the ceiling above the ring. We'd be in there. There's all like drunk old taffies screaming and shouting, and there's 2 little kids scrapping, blood everywhere. Oh, it's brutal. Like my younger brother, I remember watching my younger brother. So he's like tiny. He's only a flyweight now.
Yeah.
As a fully grown man. So he was like a tiny little kid. He'd be fighting, a room full of smoke, everyone drunk, cheering and all that. He's fighting 10 years of age, beating, like dropping little kids, blood everywhere, and like the referee having to stop the fight. Oh, it's barbaric. Brutal.
Is it like that now for kids coming through? Like, obviously not the smoking, so, no. But
I don't think so. No, I don't think it's as hard.
A lot more health and safety, I suppose, is there?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Did you must have loved it as a kid though to keep going?
Oh yeah. But because we started at such a young age, it just become like second nature type of thing.
Yeah, of course.
But like there was times, so we lived in Barry, the gym was in Roos, and Craig Smythe, he like bought a minibus. He picked all the boys up from the back, from like our area, from the car collector around Barry. He'd drive up to Roos and take us to the gym. And there was times that my dad would send us to the bus stop. My mum and dad would send us to the bus stop to get picked up. We wouldn't go there. It'd be like going on a mitts from school. We'd run off. We'd be out in the parks and all that. Come back a couple of hours later saying we'd been to the gym. So like it did become a bit of a like a school thing, like a chore type of thing.
Yeah, of course. Did you play any other sports as a kid?
No, I was useless. Saying that, we before the boxing, we did taekwondo.
Okay.
Me and my brother and my sisters, yeah.
Yeah.
Not like too serious, but we did do that.
So it's always been a combat sport.
Basketball in school as well.
Yeah. That's cool. What was obviously growing up in Barry, people have got their own opinions of Barry, whether they've seen Gavin and Stacey or they've just heard what it could be like. Was it a tough environment for you growing up around there?
Yeah, because you've got different parts of Barry. This like the West End, it's like a beautiful place, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then you've got the little council estates. Like every area, you've got good places and bad places.
Yeah.
But obviously we was brought up on the council estates. So we was born up Elizabeth Avenue.
No, not the. Okay,
one of the worst like estates in the town, and then from there we went up to the Buttrose, from there we went to. Can you remember Winston Square?
No, I don't know. I know where Romilly Parkway is, and that side.
Oh, the posh. You're from the posh end.
I'm not from there. One of my mates. Do you know Reese Blum?
We're from the other end. Yeah. So there was Elizabeth Avenue. It was like a little council estate, and then down the road from there, we moved to Winston Square, it was like a park. Yeah. And then like a square of like shops, and then flats on top of the shops. Yeah. It's knocked down now, so we moved from Elizabeth Avenue to Winston Square, and then from Winston Square to the Buttrose. Yeah. So like they were all like council estates. Until we moved out the Butt, we lived in a bit of a better house, but around the corner, then it was like big tower blocks of flats and like a rough place there.
And you're still in Barry now? Still living down?
Yeah, I've just moved out on the outskirts, like on the
Nice.
Vale.
You still obviously still love it down there. Then it's home for you.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Class. What was that journey like for you then through boxing? Obviously, you're still in school, but you're fighting, once a month, once every couple of weeks or whatever. When did it stop becoming a bit of a hobby and start becoming actually this is what I want to start doing?
Well, it was always serious. Like my dad made sure it was serious.
Yeah.
And like even from like a young age. So like one of my best friends at the time, Lee Good, we were both boxing at the same time. We was in the same weights. We was in the same class in school.
Yeah.
And like we were friends from the same area. And we ended up in the Welsh championships together, in the Welsh finals. So obviously my dad, being who he is, being my dad, he couldn't let me lose to someone in my own town, never mind like my own class in school.
Yeah.
So he had me like he was again on his bicycle. I was running behind him like 5 o'clock in the morning with bin bags on, trying to make the weight. And this is like 11 years of age, training like a professional.
Class. That's fair play. That's amazing.
It paid off. It paid off massively.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, kids. I'm interested because as you get older, things happen, and we'll come on to some stuff later. Yeah. But you build resilience through lows in your life. At 10 and 11 years old, you don't really have that because you've not really been through anything, which is bad. How did you have that mindset at such a young age to
I'm not sure.
be able to get hit? And
I don't know. It's just a natural thing, I suppose. And like on these runs at these young ages, there was no way I'd quit. Like I'd never stop on a run or nothing. I never have since.
That fascinates me, the mindset of people, especially when you get to elite level athletes and elite level business people, and the attitude is what defines that 1% difference from winning and losing.
Small percentages at the top level. Well, at any level, really.
Yeah. Fair play to you, mate. What do you remember your first fights as a kid, and then your first fights where you actually were fighting for sort of regional titles and that?
So like my first fight, I can only just vaguely, because like I was 10 years of age. So I'm an old man. I'm 33 now. so 23 years ago.
Yeah.
I remember I was at my first amateur fight, and our gym was quite well off. We had the nice like kit, nice shorts, vest, and matching boots.
Yeah.
And I remember like putting it all on. Yeah, I found my size in the shoes. So it was like drawers, filing cabinets with all the shoes at the bottom, shorts and vest. We had to check and see if we had our sizes. So I had my size, tried it on, lovely. And I remember going out to the ring. No, like coming down the steps before I went into the hall to go into the ring, and I see my opponent. He was like from the valleys again, he must have been from like a little council estate. He had like old smelly trainers on, just normal pair of gym shorts, and like his dad's vest or something. So I thought, yeah, I got this one. I thought I win this one. I remember thinking that.
How much does that come into it? So I'm not a boxer in the slightest, but I've had a couple of white collar fights, and I remember my first one. I'd never done it before. I'd stopped playing rugby, and I remember seeing the guy, and I trained with him because it was one of those ones where you all train together and you get split up into two teams and matched up. And so 4 weeks before the fight, was split up, and this guy's taller than me. He's ripped up. I'm a big lad. He's ripped up.
Yeah.
But I was like, let's go for it. Like, fuck it, whatever.
Yeah.
But the second fight I seen the kid beforehand, and I could see he didn't want it, and I knew I was going to win. How much of that plays into it I suppose as you're coming up and you're getting a bit of a reputation, and also now where you are now at that elite level, world champion level, how much does that come into it, and that mindset of, I can see I've beaten him before we've got in the ring? Like
starting off, you can notice it a lot more, a lot of things like that. But at the top level, like world class opponents, they don't like, only like the best. They don't show nothing.
No.
Like just poker face. And that's how you got to do.
Is that just from experience?
Probably from experience, yeah.
How do you? You're just about to do your ring walk. The music starts going. Your heart should be out here somewhere.
Yeah.
How do you stay calm in that environment?
To be honest, like when I'm in the change rooms, I do get nervous. I'm nothing about like the environment, just like the fear of losing is the main thing. Not even the fear of losing, the fear of not performing.
Okay.
And because like there's been times like in the gym where it just don't feel right, and then there's times in the gym where honestly I'd beat anybody. I don't care who they are.
Yeah.
But I've had like maybe 10 times in my whole career where I thought, no, maybe a bit more, maybe say 20, 30 times where I've been in the gym and nobody beat me. I don't care how good they are. I've just had them days. And I'm yet to have one of them days in a fight.
Okay.
But when that does happen, I'll show the best in me, I think.
And your professional career, you boxing. I love it, right? But I get really frustrated with the number of belts. But then also you've got like champion, interim champion, silver champion, all the different versions of that WBC or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And the politics that goes into it, and you can say what you want about this, pick and choosing fights and money talks and the business side of things. Lots of times you see boxers get navigated through that journey so that they don't pick up a loss. But you actually had a loss fairly early on.
Yeah.
How did that set you up for what came later in the world champions, the world titles? Did it set you in good stead? Yeah.
Well, first of all, with the belt, I don't agree with it to a certain extent. But if the governing bodies use it correctly, so you have, well, say you go to the IBF, you got the IBF champion is the world champion. There's no like silver champion. I think there's an IBF champion. You got an international champion, which most governing bodies got.
Yeah.
And like the interim champion, if they use the interim title how they're supposed to, when the champion isn't available to fight, then they use the interim belt. And then the next two available contenders fight for that. When the champion's ready to fight, then the interim champion boxes the champion. If it's used that way, then it's not correct. And what was the second part of the question you said?
So just on that, the thing that came to mind then as you were talking was, Dillian White, for example, waited 2 or 3 years to get that another world title shot, and then obviously picks up a loss against King because he's trying to stay busy. He's not scared of anyone. It doesn't seem fair sometimes.
It's different governing bodies.
Yeah.
And like you say what you want about the different ones, but like I've gone the IBF route. Yeah. So as a champion, and I was IBF champion, it's very difficult to be an IBF champion because they're really strict. They enforce the mandatories. So like during my 5 defences, I had to box 3 mandatories. Yeah. But so as a champion, it's quite difficult to be IBF champion. But as a challenger, it's the best to be a challenger of because they're going to enforce the mandatories. They're the strictest. Yeah, so of course. If I win my next fight now, I'm mandatory for the title, and I know guaranteed within a certain time frame I box for the title.
Is that Lopez? Is he IBF?
Lopez is the champion. He's fighting Vasily Lomachenko.
That's it.
Over the 17th, I think it is.
Yeah. Oh, that was that a month's time. Yeah. Ooh, that'd be tasty. Yeah.
So I could possibly, if I win my next fight, I could possibly box for all the belts because it's like a unification fight. Of course. And the IBF champion obviously have the other belts, and they'll put them on the line when I box for the title.
Oh, tasty that is. Oh, I love that. What was the second part of what I said then? I can't even remember now listening to you.
What did you say? The belts and did it keep me in good stead?
So you look at boxers now, matchroom boxers.
You get a maneuver.
You see the ones that come through maybe like got good Olympic stock or whatever. Yeah. They're happy to fight whoever, but then the business side of it stops them fighting whoever. And whether it's management, matchroom, whatever, I don't know, right? But they get pushed through to get 5-0, 10-0, 12-0, 15-0, and then title shots. Yeah. You took a loss early doors. I don't know if it was expected or you were underdog or he was you were favourite, whatever. How did that set you in your journey then to becoming a world champion?
So with me, when you said picking and choosing fighters, I've never picked an opponent. So I've got like great managers, the Sunny guys. They manage my career. They pick and choose the fights. So I don't even want to say in it because my luck. I think I pick an easy one. I'll end up getting knocked out. So I just leave them, the managers do their job, and I do the boxing.
Yeah.
So it should be. And so you get like the top amateurs, like my brother, for example, or some of these Olympians, they get signed with like a top promoter straight away, and they're boxing on TV. They get a decent money, and they get maneuvered into big fights. Whereas me, I didn't have that standout amateur career, so I ended up boxing on the small hall shows. They're called the small hall shows, like in little leisure centres where you've got to sell tickets to like cover your purse.
Yeah.
And like starting off, I had no. I was getting hardly any money for the fights. No TV, because there was no TV back in, and I had to work my way up.
Yeah.
And then once I'd won a couple of fights, my manager had seen me box. He knew I was good enough to box on the road and like be the OA fighter, but turn him over.
Yeah.
So a few opportunities come up for me to box away. I think I won the first one, and then the second one I boxed, it might have been it was up north somewhere. It was a very close fight. It was only a 4-round contest as well. So I think I lost the first round. I think the second fight was like the second round was pretty even, and I think I won the second too. But obviously, fighting away, you gotta win convincingly, and they give it to the other guy. But what that did, that sort of worked in my favour, because when I got to like, I think it was like 10. I think it was like 10-1 my record. The British champion, then his team picked me for the voluntary defence. They seen I'd had a loss. I had not many people around, so I looked like an easy touch. And then I got the call. I had the fights, and like my manager just let me off the leash, and I done the job. And then that was my. Funny enough, that was September 17th, 2011. So it's coming up to like how many years is that?
Oh yeah,
9
it was
years.
9
years ago.
9 years
What's
ago.
the date today? Like 2 days ago.
19th today, yeah.
Yeah, 2 days ago. 9 years ago. Yeah.
Fair.
So that was like my breakout. That was like my breakout fight.
Yeah.
Live on Sky Sports. Done the job, and then from there, well, the rest is history.
Do you get, because again, I think lots of people, when they see boxing, because they follow it via Matchroom or more recently BT Sport with Box Nation Frank Warren, they don't see the side of what you just explained there, of having to travel here, there and everywhere and find sponsors which actually pay the salary, because you've got to pay everyone else out from the money, and then you take home what's left, essentially. How hard was that did you get involved in any of that, finding sponsors, or again, did your management do all that as well?
It's very difficult. I couldn't get sponsors in the beginning. And one of the first to sponsor me is Nina Estate Agents. Yeah. And she's been on board ever since. But like it's very difficult for like the up and coming boxers, especially like I wanted to stand out amateur. So like you got some kid coming to you trying to get like sponsorship. You never heard of him. They don't really want to help you out. But then once you have made and they see you on the TV, then everyone wants to jump on the bandwagon. But like you can afford to buy your food for training and your travel to get to the gym and stuff. Yeah. By then.
Were you working at the same time as well then, just to make ends meet?
I made ends meet, so I'm working.
That's all right. I love the honesty.
I did odd jobs.
Yeah. Well, mate, good. Thing is, I obviously don't know you well, but I can just see from your mindset and your resilience, you're going to make it work, and you can get there no matter what it takes. Yeah. And if you could bottle that up and give it to someone, it'd be worth a lot of money. Yeah. Just that mindset and that attitude. What's obviously you went right the way through, IBF champion. Talk to me about that whole experience and winning the belt and finally getting to that promised land of where you'd been going for.
Well, again, when I started on them small hall shows, and obviously I got, like I said, I got good management team. They built me up like fight by fight. You see a lot of fighters. They have like like they just box journeyman, then they're chucked in with a live fighter straight away after like 10 journeyman, and it's too much of a step. Yeah. Me, I sort of had gradual like learning fights. Yeah, and they just like the quality of opponents like slightly increased each fight. Yeah, I won like the national title, the Welsh title, then the Celtic, British, Commonwealth, European, I won like 2 WBC internationals, an IBF Intercontinental, and the world title. So like all of them were like learning fights.
Yeah.
And during my career, I've had 30 fights, and I think maybe 20 of them have been title fights. Maybe, yeah, I think 20 of them have been title fights. So they've all been learning fights. So when I got to this stage of boxing for the world title, I think I'd only had maybe, well, I don't know, not a lot of fights, but they were all like, a lot of them were like 12-round title fights, British, Commonwealth, European level. So like when I got my shot at the title, I was ready.
How does it work with, because obviously your opponent changes every time, their style of boxing changes every time, whether it's orthodox or not, and whether they're off front foot, back foot fighter, whatever it might be. Do your team analyse the other fighters, or is it a case of just work on you, and if you do what you do well, speed,
that's what I do,
power, whatever? Yeah,
that's what I do. I just concentrate on myself, and like I don't really watch my opponents. I'll check to see, just like you said, just to see whether they're orthodox, southpaw, whether they're an aggressive fighter or a back foot fighter.
Yeah.
And I'll just like concentrate on myself really.
And how
because like if you did like prepare for one thing and they come out and do something totally different, it could throw you off. And to be honest, I just go in there with and just like react off what they do.
What do you think the public would say your biggest attributes are, and what do you think your biggest attributes are?
The public could probably say like my footwork and my movement, and I'd say the same.
Yeah.
But like when I go around all these top gyms, I think that's what separates me. Like out in America, I'm sparring with top class boys, and that's what makes the difference. The footwork. Yeah. They used to like standing and like sort of beating each other up. I'm a toe-to-toe terror, or like trying to outbox each other like flat-footed, where I'm hitting them and making them miss. Like that's what makes the difference, I find.
Yeah, fair play, mate. What's because you've been out to Mayweather's, you've been all over the place, Mayweather's gym.
All over, yeah.
What's that experience like when you walk into someone else's gym and they know who you are?
Yeah.
And do you feel extra pressure to prove that you are that good, or is it
relaxed? When I first went to America, like Mayweather's gym, they didn't know who I was, because I think just when the British title, I had my first defence.
Yeah.
And then I think my manager was ill then. He had cancer. I think it was around about that time. Was it then? No, actually, he might have had cancer earlier. So I had a little like gap in my career, like sort of like a promotional sort of like, not dispute, but like they held me back a little bit.
Yeah.
And I had like a year without fighting, a year in activity, and it was like, as I was British champion, so I should have been active. So my manager took me out. He took me out to America just to keep me active and inspiring in the top gyms and get me learning. And like the guy who runs, well, one of the main guys who runs the Mayweather gym is Cornelius Bowser-Edwards. He was WBC champion. And my manager is like great friends with him. They were sparring partners. Okay. So that's how we got a connection with the gym.
Yeah.
So he took me up there when I had that little spell of inactivity, and I was out there sparring and working. And being in them type of gyms, in them environments against top class fighters, it's like a fight. They're trying to take your head off. And you still get like those nerves and the same feelings that you would go into a fight.
You do you?
Yeah.
What are they like towards you? What's the camaraderie like, or is it a case of you step foot in our gym, we'll take your fucking head off?
That's what it's usually like. But the first time I boxed in Mayweather's gym, I sparred with, I think he was like an amateur from their gym, and like they were all around the ring, banging the ring and all that. But everyone I've sparred in, I've boxed them. Yeah.
I love that. Have you sparred Mayweather?
No, I've watched him spar though. Again, because my manager's friendly with Bowser-Edwards, we've been there on a few occasions where he's been training for these big super fights in Las Vegas. Yeah. And when everyone's in the gym, like he sends a security around, they kick everyone out, but Bowser let us stay behind, and we've had the pleasure to watch him train in the sparring.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I'm not expecting stories because you're not allowed to talk about what happens in sparring, obviously. But good experience.
It was a good experience to watch, like the best sparring live and training. Yeah.
Again, do you pay for that before you go out? Do you pay for that experience almost to say, look, we want to come and use the gym? How much is it going to cost us?
Oh no, like I said, because Chris Hannigan, he's friendly with Cornelius Edwards. We're just in the gym and we get to stay behind, watch the training and watch the sparring and stuff. Class. Otherwise, we'd have been out. They would have kicked us out. The security. Yeah.
How often do you go around to other gyms then, learning from other people and sparring with other people?
A lot of my big fights, we've gone out to America, either Las Vegas or more so California, because like it's closer to like Mexico. You got the smaller fighters. I'm only like in Las Vegas, they seem to be a lot bigger. So like we spar over California with and all the little like Mexican gyms.
Yeah, I think. Have you ever sort of gone around the gyms and you've seen someone sparring, not against you, and you've gone, Jesus Christ, who's that?
I've seen a few good boys. Like we've been in Freddie Roach's gym.
Yeah.
And so when you're in there, it's like a cattle market. All the boxers come from different gyms around America. They just get you in there. They take your weight before you know you're in the ring fighting for your life, scrapping. It's a tiny little gym, boiling hot.
Is it?
Yeah.
And it must spill over at times. Again, like you haven't got to name names, but it must spill over at times where it's like we're here to learn, not just to fucking kill each other.
Well, they're not like that. They just want to take your head off.
Fair play to you. Walking into the lines.
Some good fighters. I've sparred like all types of world champions.
Yeah.
Yeah. I sparred in 50 Cent at the gym. I sparred over in his gym one time.
Did you?
Yeah.
Was he there?
Yeah, he was there.
Class.
I've seen him in Mayweather as well. But when we was at his gym, I'd sparred. I boxed his a Cuban boxer.
Yeah.
Afterwards, then Chris Hannigan, he asked him for a photo. He said no, which was no good, which I didn't like. It wasn't like he was getting mobbed. If it was his gym, there was no one even coming around him. He said, "Oh, can I have a photo?" He said, "Oh no, man. What's that about?"
Oh, he just goes down in your estimations then, doesn't he?
Yeah.
What's obviously you've had some massive fights there, and I know, what was that like winning that world title? Was it 2015? Was it the IBF title?
2015, yeah.
What was that like to finally get to that promised land of we've made it?
It was amazing, but like it just didn't seem like real because now that I'm not champion, I've lost the title. You don't really. I didn't realize how big being a world champion was.
Yeah.
It's just massive. But like at the time, being champion, I didn't really appreciate it how I should have.
On that, do you think that's a British thing? Because I feel like, again, I'm an outsider just looking in and I see social media and TV or whatever. Yeah. Americans seem to be lauded as the best thing since sliced bread. Yet we've got British fighters. You look at Calzaghe.
Oh no, only you say British fighters. Only like the heavyweights get the recognition they deserve. All the way through the history of boxing, but we don't get like you said the applause that we should and the recognition. It's like to being champion of the whole world is a massive thing.
Yeah, of course.
It's a big place.
Yeah,
and like when I was champion, like I said, it didn't sink in how big it was at the time, and I didn't really appreciate how big being a world champion is.
Away from fight weeks and interviews or whatever, do you get a lot of attention, and do you like it, and you're happy to give back to people, or do you shy away from it a bit and you want to?
I love to give back to people, and when I retire, I think I might set up an amateur gym in Barry.
Class.
And try and give back to the kids, and I try and take them off the streets and open up and give someone the opportunities that I've got now.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
But I do get recognised a lot. more so, like if I go to a boxing show, it's crazy. Like the amount of attention you get, and then it's good. It's good. Like they appreciate like the hard work I've done, and they appreciate the boxing.
I don't think I'd never appreciate it. I'd never been one for going at people on social media as such. Like you get a lot of Twitter trolls or whatever.
I can't stand them. This social media crap. It's given idiots a voice, and they can directly like talk to the stars and like these famous people, or even like other boxers.
Yeah.
Like they wouldn't say boo to a goose, yet they're slagging out like top fighters would take their head off with one punch.
But
if they seen them in the flesh, they're the type
of have a picture. Yeah, 100%. That's what I was coming to. I was going to say, I never
give an idiot a voice.
Do you get a lot of shit on Twitter or Instagram or whatever?
I used to, but I don't. I stopped replying to it a few years back, so I don't really get much grief. But once they see this interview, they probably cheer back up.
I got someone yesterday come at me a little bit like, this is crap, and I was like, all right, pal, I'm just trying to get by. Like I don't care.
I just don't get their mentality. What type of guy types stuff to them? Unless you're gonna say it to them if you see them.
Yeah.
And like, after these people, like these celebrities, and like me, for example, I'm not a celebrity, but like me, I'm just a normal person.
Yeah.
So no one's gonna come to me in the street and say, "Oh, you're a cunt," but they think they can write it to you on the internet.
I know, mate. I get it.
They wouldn't say it to nobody, yet they can type. They got the right to type it to someone.
Do you on that point? I was going to say, like, I probably didn't appreciate